Welcome back. We are continuing with our question paper. We are now on question number 4. We are given sec of 180 degrees plus b. They say simplify the following without the use of a calculator. Okay, in which quadrant do we find 180 degrees plus? Let's remind ourselves here. Here we've got theta, here we've got 180 minus, here we've got 180 plus, and then here we've got 360 degrees minus. So we find 180 plus in quadrant number 3. So is sec positive or negative in quadrant number 3? First of all, you need to remember something. What is the reciprocal of sec? The reciprocal of sec is cos. So this is the same as having 1 divided by the cosine of 180 degrees plus b. So where is cos positive? Cos is positive in the first quadrant and in the fourth quadrant. But in the third quadrant, cos is negative. So sec of 180 minus b is going to be negative. Sec of 180 degrees. No. It's going to be negative sec of b. Yes. Negative sec of b. You can also write it as 1 divided by the cosine of b, but negative. So one of the two will be correct. So you either leave it like this or you leave it like this. One of the two will be correct. Then again, you are given the tangent squared of 2 pi minus b. Remember guys, pi is equals to 180 degrees. So where you see pi, just replace it by 180 degrees. So this is the same as having 2 multiplied by 180 degrees minus b. So that simply means that you have what? 2 times 180 is like having 360 degrees minus b. Where do you find 360 degrees minus? You'll find it here in the fourth quadrant. So what's happening in the fourth quadrant? Only cos is positive. So that means when it comes to tangent, your tangent is going to be negative. So you're going to have the tangent of b. Allow me to put the square outside like this. Now, because of it is squared, this is like having negative tangent of b multiplied by another negative tangent of b. I know it's 1 mark. We're building something here. So it means that negative and negative, they multiply each other and then they give you something that is positive. So this becomes positive tan squared of b. That's why we can confidently say that tan squared of this, it is positive tan squared of b. Even if the tangent is negative, but because of it is squared, then automatically it becomes positive. And this is how it becomes positive. It's because of the negative sign is being multiplied by another negative sign, and then you end up with something that is positive. Okay. Moving on to the next question. 4.1.3, we are simplifying. Okay, we're given the cosine of 120 multiplied by sec. This one, if you remember, we have simplified it. Also, this one, we have simplified it. This is being divided by the cosine of 360 plus and then divided by 2. Okay, let's remember our reductions. Here we've got theta, we've got 180 minus, we've got 180 plus, and then we've got 360 degrees minus. If we move 1 more quadrant up, we're going to have 360 degrees plus. I just wanted to put it there. And then what's happening in the first quadrant, all of them are positive. Here only sine, here only tangent, and then here only cos. That is positive. All right, now let's see if we can answer the question. We are given the cosine of 120 degrees. How do we simplify that? The cosine of 120 degrees, let's remind ourselves, 120 degrees, it's in the second quadrant. And in the second quadrant, what is our reduction formulae? Our reduction formula is 180 degrees minus. Now, how much degree do we need to subtract from 180 degrees so that we can have 120 degrees? We need to subtract 60 degrees. Okay? Multiply by the sec of 180 degrees plus beta. We have already simplified it, so I'm just going to put it in the square bracket and say that this, we have simplified it to be negative 1 divided by the cosine of angle B. Put it there. And then we're going to divide all of this. This one also we have simplified it. Tan squared of 2 pi minus b. This one was simplified to be positive tan squared of b plus 1. And then all of this is being divided by. So I'm just allow me to... Okay, fine. Let's continue the division. It's fine. The cosine of 360 degrees plus, it's going to be positive. 360 degrees plus, it means you're going 1 up there. So cos of this is going to become the cosine of b. And then you divide by 2. 2 is not changing. All right, let's simplify. So 180 degrees minus, it's in the second quadrant, and in the second quadrant only sign is positive, so that means cos there it's going to be negative. So I'm going to have negative the cosine of 60 degrees multiplied by negative 1 divided by the cosine of b, and then divide everything by, okay. In the denominator, what do we have? We have tan squared plus 1. Okay, for now, let's just write it as it is. Tan squared of b plus 1, because we want to change this, multiplied by, this is going to be, when you change division into a multiplication, this is going to be 2 divided by the cosine of b. Okay, and then what is the cosine of 60 degrees? This whole thing here is going to give me negative 1 over 2. So I'm just going to have negative half. And then what I'm going to have here, just leave it as it is. 1 divided by cos squared of b. And then you will realize that in the denominator, you have an identity. You have an identity of tangent. Tan squared of b plus 1 is the same as having sec squared of b. And then this one you have already changed it. Just leave it as it is. 2 divided by cos of b. Now let's simplify. Remember that 1 over tangent, it is sec. Do you remember that? Okay. 1 over cos, it is sec. So if you remember that, so in this case it simply means that, let me just rewrite it. So I'm going to have negative 1 over 2 into 1 divided by, no, this one you just write it as sec of b. Remember the negative sign, we put the negative sign there. Okay, all divided by sec squared of b, multiply that by 2 divided by cos of b. Okay, now one of this is going to divide this one, right? So it means that in the denominator I'm only left with 1 sec, and then this 2 is going to divide this 2, right? So that means in the numerator, I'm only going to be left with 1, because negative times negative, they're going to give me positive. So I'll have 1 divided by. In the denominator, I am left with sec multiplied by this one here, cos. Let's remind ourselves, what is sec? Sec is 1 over cos multiplied by cos. And then what's going to happen now? Cos and cos are going to divide, and I'll be left with 1 divided by 1. And then the final answer becomes what? Becomes 1. And that is our final answer there. Yes, that is 4.1.3. Moving on. 4.2, complete the identity. It's in your formula sheet, this one. 1 minus cos squared of A is going to give you sine squared of A. Done. It's in the formula sheet. And the formula sheet is given as sine squared of A plus cos squared of A equals to 1. So if you make this the subject, which means you have to transpose. You have to transpose cos, you have to transpose cos. You have to take this one to the side, and then you'll be left with sine squared of A. This will be 1 minus cos squared of A, which is this one here. So the complete identity is going to be equals to sine squared of A. Prove the following identity. We are given 1 divided by 1 plus cos plus 1 divided by 1 minus cos. This is equals to 2 cosec squared of A. Choose a side. You must choose a side here. So I'm going to choose the left one. So on my left hand side, I have 1 divided by 1 plus the cosine of A plus 1 divided by 1 minus the cosine of A. Okay. How do we do this one? Cross multiply. Let me just choose this. You cross multiply. You take this, you multiply it by that. So basically, I'm going to have 1 multiplied by 1 minus cos A. You do the same thing. You take 1, you multiply it by that. Then you're going to have 1. You have to put a plus sign there. Remember the sign here, it's plus. And then you cross again, you multiply. You're going to have 1 plus the cosine of A. All of this is divided by, then you multiply the denominators. You take this, multiply by this. You see that? So in my denominators, I'm going to have 1 plus cos A into 1 minus cos A. And then from here on, you simplify. So in the numerator, I have 1 minus cos A plus 1 plus cos A. All of that is divided by, in the denominator, also multiply. You're going to have 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. Then 1 multiplied by negative cos is going to be negative cos A. Cos A multiplied by 1 is going to be positive cos A. And then negative times positive is going to be negative. And then cos multiplied by cos is going to give us cos squared of A. Now you will notice that this one and this one, they give us 0. And then in the numerator, you are left with 1 plus 1, which is 2. Divide. Let's go in the denominator. You will realize that this one and this one, they give us 0. And then you are left with 1 minus cos squared of A. Remember what you wrote in the previous question. What is 1 minus cos squared A? 1 minus cos squared A is sine squared of A. Now when you write this, you can take 2 out and you'll be left with 1 divided by sine squared of A. And what is 1 divided by sine? Here is 1 divided by sine. This is going to be 2 cosec squared of A, which is equal to your right hand side. And that brings us to the end of question number 4. Let's see what we can do with question number 5.